Hello and welcome to the final chapter, Chapter 7 of Intro to EBT, Wired for Joy. Congratulations for moving through this course that gives you fundamentals in the method. The reward for this particular chapter is freedom. Freedom tends to come last in this training as the brain set point moves up. In order to get it to move up, we are wiring in the rewards. We're moving through those pathways from stress to joy. And we're freeing ourselves from the circuits that are encoded during stress that form false attachments and unstoppable drives for behaviors, for emotions, for relationship distancing or merging, and for other things. So the idea is during stress we get encoded with an experience that tells us that we have an unstoppable drive, that our survival depends on getting food or a certain mood like numbing out or being depressed, or for a certain way of relating like distancing or merging. Once that circuit is formed, it goes underground. And whenever we try to rewire it, we trigger the wire because it's stored way deep in the brain. In EBT, you will identify 3 of those, what we call survival circuits, that have those unstoppable drives that are unconscious. And then learn how to move up that circuit from a brain state 5 where we can't really re-encode it to a brain state 4 and begin to erase it. The purpose of doing that is that these circuits live inside of us and they breed other unreasonable expectations, what we call 4 circuits. They breed those expectations like I'm not enough or I have to be perfect. So if we can bore down and get to those survival circuits and melt them and erase them and reconsolidate them, we can really free ourselves up to be in joy. So the rewiring of those circuits is beyond the scope of this course, but in this chapter, consider beginning to identify some of your survival circuits. So for instance, what is the behavior I go to when I'm really, really stressed out? That even though it's probably not the best behavior, it feels comforting. It feels like I'm driven. That even though it's logical that I shouldn't do it, I'm going to do it. Most of us also have one for an emotion, like the go-to emotion of getting hostile, or getting depressed, or anxious, or panicked, or ashamed, or numb, or manic. These are wired into the brain, and the brain really reads them as being a survival response. These responses are emotional, and they cannot be rewired by thoughts. They're rewired by being able to emotionally experience them again and begin to, instead of getting my safety from that behavior, that emotion, that relationship pattern, to begin to transform that circuit, to melt it, to reconsolidate it, so I get my safety from inside me. The reason these circuits are also so important is because when we rewire them, we get this sense of freedom. So before, let's say we couldn't go a certain place because we might see a person, or we might, I don't want to do that because I'll see that kind of food that I have no control over. We begin to narrow our life. And the point is to have joy. And joy has to do with an expansive sense of freedom. So you can learn in the advanced courses how to rewire these circuits. What about the grind-in for freedom? Well, by the time that you've begun to say to yourself, I do exist, I am not bad, I do have power, I can do good, I can love, I am worthy. We're so evolved that we also naturally say to ourselves, I can have joy. In fact, my essence is joy. I am joy. And so the final grind-in that comes with moving up your set point is, I am joy. And if I am joy, what's the essential pain of that? I must give. I must give at a deeper level. And if I do that, I have a new sense of freedom in my life. So that's a very basic course on the fundamentals of EBT. I hope you've enjoyed this course. The next step, if you decide to continue, is to be really clear on what you most want from this training, whether it's sanctuary, authenticity, vibrancy, integrity, intimacy, spirituality, freedom, or just being wired for joy. And then to move through the first kit, which is deepening your sense of sanctuary, get into a group or telegroup, get into a community, and really celebrate this work, because this work is thanks to an amazing group of scientists who over the years began to appreciate that the emotional brain wasn't a black box. We actually could transform, and in fact we can use our own brain to rewire those circuits that have blocked our joy and to attach ourselves to a new level of meaningful life and to create more joy in everyday living. So thank you for participating in this course. I hope you've enjoyed it, and will you join me in saying what we say in EBT, which is, I am creating joy in my life.